Hey y'all, it's story time. Come on and watch it. All right. I was like 20, 21, and I was dating this guy. We had been together for 2 years. All right. And I ain't gonna say his name, but I'm gonna say this. During that 2 years, he cheated on me 8 times with 8 of my so-called friends. Let's just say that Jordan got tired of crying. I mean, it went as far as we were living together at that time in some little rinky-dink apartment. I still remember the apartment number. The number was G. You know what I'm saying? But I thought the reason I'm telling you this story, don't do what I do, okay? Don't do what I do. But anyway, I was and like we lived together for about a year. I was working, paying all the bills. He was working and taking girls and whatever else, trans people out on dates and whatever. Okay, so it came to a point to where his family would like to be all up in our business. That's why we couldn't have any peace. They didn't like me. They didn't like him dating me because of being trans. Y'all know, y'all know how people are. Anyway, so it was funny because he came home that day and said he's leaving me, and I was like, okay. But then he said he was leaving me for one of my friends. Not his friends, one of my friends. Then I got mad. I got mad. I was pissed. Do you hear me? Let's just say we worked at the same bar. He was a bartender, I think, at this time. At this time. And let's just say Jordan took and put all his stuff outside the apartment and took some alcohol. It was actually not alcohol. It was charcoal lighter fluid. And I burned his stuff. I let it burn for about an hour. Then I poured some sweet tea on it, some old sweet tea, because I was like, you ain't gonna never get it back. I did everything. I poured ketchup, sweet tea, mustard, whatever I had in the house to put the fire out, because I was gonna pack it back up in a nice little tote for him and put him in his truck. Put it in his truck. So I did that. Now I'm still mad. Like that little fire thing didn't work for me. It didn't calm me down. So I put all his stuff I took a shovel and picked up all the rest of his little remainings and put it in a tote and set it in the back of his truck. Well, it didn't end there, okay? His truck didn't lock. Like the locks on it didn't work. I was so angry. I was so angry. Y'all know them radios that it has back in the day, it had the little facing on it you could just pull out. Well, I pulled out that radio and slammed it on the ground and stuck it back in there. I keyed the side of his truck, flattened all 4 tires. This was before that song came out. Now, this was before. And when I say I keyed it, I literally keyed it. I literally took a box cutter to his seats of his truck. I really did. I really went all out. And then what's funny about this whole story, I walk in the bar, smiling, laughing, flirting with other men in front of him, all of it. But I left before he left. He got off, I think, at 2, and I left at 1 o'clock. Because, I was that girl. You didn't play with you. Okay, you didn't play with me like that. So I get home, and I shut the door and I go to bed. The next morning we had a bar meeting and I had to be there, mandatory. He comes in mad as all get out. Mad as all get out. I mean, he was mad, rip roaring, whatever, I didn't care. I was young and crazy. I didn't care. Coming all mad and get out at the meeting, trying to cuss at me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, somebody did all this stuff to my truck and burned my clothes. You don't want to live. I didn't tell you to leave. In fact, that truck that you have, my taxes pay for. So technically, I didn't destroy your property. I just destroyed my own property. So technically, you ain't got no case. Because see, I'm smart like that. I had already talked to a lawyer. Anyway, so he got mad and he had to walk home. And when I say he had to walk home, he had to walk like 10 miles home because he only had somebody to drop him off there, and he thought that if me and him talked, we were going to work this out, and that he would be able to come back home. No, that ain't how this happened. Okay, let's just say he didn't come back to my house that night, and let's just say that was a long walk at 12:30 at night to get to where he was gonna be living at, because that's where he gonna live at. I was too hurt. I wasn't worried about him. And what's funny is that, like, the route he was walking home, I had to go the same route in my car to get to my house, because my house was like in the same direction. Could I gave him a ride? Yeah. Did I? No. Would have? No. Will I now? No. And no, I wish him the best. However, let's just say I didn't see him no more for a long time. Like, that was the last time I saw this dude for many, 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 many years. And the only reason I saw him years and years later is because I happened to be at one of the stores in my nearest town, the big stores where it's in the town he lived in, and I just happened to see him, but I didn't say nothing to him. No, ma'am. I ain't mad at him. I don't hold no grudges. You got what you deserve. Don't be mad at me. You deserved it. But see, some of us don't play that cheating mess. Some of us don't play that lying mess. You know, because I always told him, if you're going to cheat on me, at least tell me first. That way I know where we stand. Don't do it behind my back, because we grown. You need to have respect for me. If you don't want to be with me, fine. I don't have no issues with that. But you're not going to cheat on me. But how he got caught was my best friend. Her name was Roxy. Okay, Roxanne was her name. We called her Roxy. He was taking his girlfriends over to my best friend's house, who was telling me. She would call me and say, hey, your boyfriend at that time is here with his new girlfriend. I'm like, new girlfriend? He ain't broke up with me yet. So she would take out her little, at that time we had digital cameras. We didn't have these cell phones. And she would take out pictures. And she would take pictures when they wasn't looking. Just snapping little pictures to prove her point. And she would show them to me. Let's just say he ain't worried about cheating on nobody else. I can promise you that much. See, sometimes you gotta do things to stand your ground. You gotta prove your point. You understand? And when I cut them seats of that truck and flattened off 4 tires and did all that keying on that truck and broke some radios and stuff in that truck, he learned his lesson. I truly believe I am the woman that made him the man he is today. Now, I didn't say he was a great man today, and I don't know what he's doing because I ain't talked to him. That was back when I was real young, okay? Be careful who you do something to, because, you know, you don't know that how deep that crazy of that person go. That's all I'm going to say. Love you.